Hello everyone, my name is Kinetic and welcome to my top 10 most anticipated MMORPGs of 2014 to 2015. I choose this period, which is actually about a year or so in time, from the middle of here in 2014 into 2015, because there are so many awesome looking MMORPGs coming out that are either going to be released this year, begin testing, or released next year and possibly localized over to the West. There are a lot of games here that are coming from different countries. For example, Korea is a big contributor of awesome looking games for the MMORPG genre, and hopefully we will see most of these games that are on this list localized and brought over to us within a year and a half's time. In fact, the biggest contributing factor as to what games I should include on this list and also what number I'm going to order them in was whether we have a good enough chance of seeing them brought over to the West and localized into other languages, for example, English and French and German and things like that, for North America and for the EU. There's at least a half dozen other games that I would like to talk about, but there seems like there's little to no chance of seeing those games brought over to the West, and so I didn't include them. Aside from that, I still think that this is a great looking top 10 list with some awesome looking games. It has little influence on my own personal feelings and more as a reflection of the general public's excitement and hype for these upcoming MMORPGs. Let's take a look now at the list, starting with number 10. Blade and Soul. Here's a game that we were supposed to get probably a long time ago. This is an amazing and very stylish looking martial arts style of MMORPG that seems to be in localization hell. That's the only way I can really describe it. I did actually have a chance to play the Korean version, and I could definitely attest to the beauty of the environments, the characters, and the combat is really fantastic. What didn't please me so much was the very typical questing system, which reminded me way too much of World of Warcraft style of talking to an NPC, go fetch something, go kill a certain number, and then come back to the said NPC and things like that. I'm sure there's much more to the game beyond that, beyond questing and things like that, which is of course pretty much true for most MMORPGs. It could be a chore until you actually get to higher levels and into some of the quote end game style of content, but that of course is even if we see this game released over to the West. I'm really looking forward to it for more information to come to us, but I'm definitely not holding my breath. Number 9, Monster Hunter Online. I'm a big Monster Hunter fan, and one of the last straws that broke my patience for Capcom was hearing about this awesome game that was being made, but then also hearing that we had no information whatsoever of it being released over to the West, which is just typical, it feels like now, of the Monster Hunter series. So many good games are made for the East only, and I never see the light of day over in Western countries, which is really a shame because Monster Hunter is just a fantastic game. And the idea of Monster Hunter Online with these amazing graphics, a vast multiplayer world where you can connect with friends easily and socialize with other hunters, just it is the perfect thing for me to play in an online MMORPG. Sadly, we have little to no indication that this game is going to be brought over to the West, but if there was anything that Capcom could do to make it up to their Monster Hunter fans and make up for past transgressions, is to get a Western publisher to get behind this game and bring it over to the West. Number 8, Peria Chronicles. This is by far the most beautiful looking cel-shaded game I've seen in a very long time, and the fact that it's an online RPG and not a single player game makes this even more impressive to look at. The clarity of the models and graphics, the little details and the fluidity of the animations, the environments, the monsters, the combat, everything already is looking very polished. But one of the most interesting things that I find about this game is the town building crafting system that's in the game. You can adjust the land, rearrange buildings, hire NPCs, do all sorts of really interesting things to basically create your own custom town. There's not a lot of details. Like I said, this game is heavily in development. No word as to whether it's being localized or anything like that, but I'm really hoping so. There's no doubt in my mind, if they do find a Western publisher, anime fans in North America and EU will flock in the hundreds of thousands to play this beautiful looking game. Number 7, ArcAge. Finally a game on the list I actually know quite a bit about and have had a lot of time with hands-on to try the game out. It has a lot of cool things going for it, but some of the design choices kind of force it into a bit of a niche genre. Let me explain. It's got a fantastic, open, seamless world that you can travel in a variety of ways on land with great-looking mounts, in the air with gliders, and even crossing the ocean with your own personal boat. It's fantastic for that reason. But the reason why it's kind of forced into a little bit too much of a subgenre is because of its heavy focus on PvP and lack of PvE type of activities. It does have a decent number of dungeons that you can explore, some open world bosses and things like that, but for the most part, XL Games has built ArcAge to be mostly a PvP type of experience. So if you're looking for that sort of thing, definitely you will find it in ArcAge. I'm personally hoping that they can balance this out more by adding more PvE type of content with more dungeons, maybe some raids or something like that. There's plenty to enjoy in PvE with housing, farming, fishing and things like that, but definitely expect it to be put into some war zones and to risk the trade packs that you will create from farming in PvP situations. Number 6, Icarus Online. This was an easy addition to my top 10 list. It's got beautiful graphics, exciting looking combat, beautiful environments that you can explore, and amazing looking flying mounted combat. What more could you ask for? This game seems to pack just about everything that you could want from a next-gen MMORPG. I just pray that we do hear something about the localization for this game. Currently it's set to release in Korea only, but with enough excitement and support by fans of MMORPGs in the West, we may have a good chance to see Icarus Online reach the Western market. Number 5, Skyforge. Admittedly, I only recently heard about this game, but as you can see from its listing here in my top 10, it's quickly becoming one of my most anticipated MMORPGs. It's got beautiful looking graphics and this gorgeous fantasy sci-fi universe and one of the most interesting character progression systems I've seen in the genre, where you can essentially, with one character, level up all 10 classes conveniently and switch on the fly depending on your demands. So if you're playing as a DPS but your party needs a tank at the time, no problem, just switch out of your DPS class and right into your tank. You don't have to worry about breaking off from the group, go level your tank and then come back. You are already ready and raring to go. To add to the excitement, Skyforge is guaranteed to be released in the West, so definitely keep your eyes open for this game. Number 4, Project Black Sheep. This game has awesome action combat written all over it. It's unclear though as to whether this is going to be a predominantly open world type of experience or more of an instanced experience. Players familiar with C9 and Vindictus will know what I'm talking about. This game looks really exciting with its action combat and has a lot of potential for some epic moments with its destructible environments. Number 3, Bless. The thing that caught my eye with this game well early on was how beautiful the graphics are. It rivals that of even offline single-player games and definitely blows most online RPG games out of the water. Heavily story-driven, amazing-looking combat, and some very interesting-looking dungeon mechanics. Bless is something that I'm personally looking forward to playing. Number 2, Kingdom Under Fire 2. Years ago I saw a video of this game in development, and back then I was amazed, and now I'm simply even more amazed because it's not just about awesome fancy looking combat, but also in the different ways that you can engage and experience that combat. You can play from a third person traditional looking experience as you fight in a big open field in a Dynasty Warriors type of combat style, but you can also switch out of that and view and control things from an RTS type of gameplay. It's by far one of the most ambitious and beautiful looking games that is going to be coming out fairly soon. Not just available on PC as well, but also next-gen hardware like the PlayStation 4. And now for the number 1 most anticipated MMORPG. You probably saw this coming. Black Desert Online. What can be said about Black Desert Online that hasn't already been said? What could I possibly tell you that this game hasn't already shown and probably made a huge name for itself already among MMORPG fans? Fantastic looking graphics, awesome looking combat, beautiful environments, mounts, player housing, raids, PvE, PvP. It's an all-in-one package, and to make it even more sweeter, the developer has received many interested Western publishers to bring this game over to us. Closed beta testing is already underway, expected to release in Korea this year in 2014, and I wouldn't put it past seeing this game released sometime in the West, middle of 2015. And that, my friends, is my top 10 most anticipated MMORPG list of 2014 to 2015. Again, there's so many other games that I would like to talk about on this list, but you can only put 10 games into a top 10, you know what I mean? If I missed any games that you're really excited for, by all means let me know in the comments. You may even have something that I've never even heard of. I hope to cover these games in a lot more detail in the future, so make sure that you're subscribed here to my YouTube channel. My name is Kinetic. Thanks for watching.